But the second thing he says is another hardship that they're going to experience, right? He says, let's talk about that later. He says this, verse 8. See that you're not led astray, for many will come in my name, saying, I am he, and the time is at hand. Do not go after them. Which is to say, another hardship that you're very possibly going to experience as a follower of God is actually false teachers and false religion. And people presenting Jesus to you in a fake way, in an unreal way, and actually religion that's going to harm your faith in a way. You possibly might fall asleep to God because of real difficulty within the life of the church, is what he's saying. Okay. The third thing he says, there's going to be wars and natural disasters, verses 10 and 11. Nation will rise up against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There'll be great earthquakes in various places, famines and pestilences, and there'll be terrors and great signs from heaven. He says that part of the possibility of not staying awake to God or falling asleep to God is the real fact that there are wars in this world. And there's rumors of wars, and there's destruction, and we live in a world, and my guess is all of us are feeling this right now. I mean, with stuff that's going on with the Houthis and the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, and this and that, and maybe just conflicts on your own street and in your own home, and you're like, why? What's going on? He keeps going. He actually says, fourth, that you're going to receive persecution as Christians. Now, some of what he says here pertains to the time, okay? Very concretely, the time. He says that you're going to be brought before synagogues, meaning like your religious community and your social community is actually going to kick you out because you're going to follow Jesus. So there's, some of that he's talking about is really contextualized within the time. But he says this, right? Verse 12, but before all this, they will lay hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and prisons. And you will be brought before kings and governors for my name's sake. Now, okay, fifth, he actually says, some of you are going to fall asleep because your own family will not love you through this. They will not stick with you when you worship me, when you follow me. We're going to skip down, verse 16. You will be delivered up even by parents and brothers and relatives and friends. And some of you they will put to death. You will be hated by all for my name's sake. Okay, we can keep going on. I could go into a little more of the details here, but what I'm saying is that Jesus is saying that there are certain things that are going to happen because you are following him and you're walking with God, and that walking with him is going to create such a situation at times where you're going to say, I don't think I want to keep watch for God. I don't want to be attentive to him. I'm going to fall asleep to God. He's going to be a distant memory. I'm going to give up. And he's saying, don't do it. And think about this, right? It's true. Some of us will be tempted, probably all of us will be tempted to fall asleep to God in a way because of the things that we love that are good. But many of us will fall asleep to God or be tempted to because of these very reasons that Jesus mentions, okay? Because of religion itself, because of false teachers that have harmfully lied to us about God and his ways. Some of us will fall asleep to God because we look out on the world and we see actually the horrendous natural disasters that take place and the extent of war. And we really do go, wait, I worship a God who is love, we studied this fall in 1 John, and who is so great and so powerful that he speaks and the world comes into being. What is going on? That is going to be a temptation. Where is God in the midst of all of this? Some of us are going to fall asleep to God, or at least you will probably be tempted to, because you hate the feeling of telling someone you're a Christian only to be dismissed or laughed at or mocked. Do you really believe a man was God long ago, dying on a cross and rising to new life? You believe the Bible? Some of us will fall asleep to God because our parents think we are silly and immature for following Jesus. Some of us because our friends think we are delusional for following Jesus. And some of us because our children think we are following some antiquated, outdated ideas, God, not keeping up with the times. Jesus is simply naming these things.